All right, folks, reggae musician, instrumentalist, Addis Pablo believes there's still a place in Jamaica for dub and instrumental music. So he's here now to talk about what it takes to reignite people's interest in this uniquely Jamaican style. Welcome, Virgin. Good to see you.
Morning,
I understand when you say instrumental music, I understand dub music still, but what do you mean by dub music? Exactly what do you mean when you say that?
Well, when I speak of dub music, of course, I'm speaking of the genre of music which was created in the early 1970s out of Jamaica by people like King Tubby's, King Jammies, and Lee Scratch Perry, alongside my father, Addis Pablo, where they would take a track, for example, like we're just playing, one of my rhythms, and they would isolate different aspects of it, whether it be the melodica or the lead instrument, and just highlight the drum and bass and different factors with effects and
but why you think that should still be around? Because as you said, music evolve. So we kind of did music. Me grew up on ska.
Yes.
And then you go rock steady, and then you go reggae, and then you go dancehall. So why you think that should still be with us or bring it back?
Correct. Well, as you were just saying all about ska, there's groups and there's a bunch of people across the world who just listen to ska. And they know there's reggae, they know there's roots, and there's dub.
But them still live with
them
ska.
love ska because some people like orange, some people like apple. So just because people stop eating apple, just because people stop eating apples, everybody can stop eating. So we might say, well, we always evolving, and Jamaica is creating things every second, every minute, every day is a new word, a new, so we will always feel like this is something new. But for the people we create, and them listen to it, and love it, and it's just, as far as it being popular in Jamaica, we don't know if that's gonna happen, but we're not gonna stop doing it because there's a whole world of people out there who want it, so.
Yeah, this is not suggesting that the music today shouldn't be taking
no, everything has its place in it.
Yeah.
As I said, some people like apples, some people like oranges. You can have a lot of people just going to want new music, but you have a whole 100 million people who want to listen to these music. That's why I said Bob Marley still selling, my dad music still selling, Burning Spear just did a tour recently and shows are sold out. So.
Yeah. You made a good point, and you said it might not necessarily be popular in Jamaica. So you're not talking about the youth them here. You just not talking about don't throw away the music.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm a representative of that. I'm a father's son. I can have children, I have younger youths around me too, and they're not just into dub alone, but they'll have an interest. So I think usually, if people don't know about something, it's hard for them to have interest. You would know about some of this stuff, because but youths, so probably if they see me doing it, they'll be like, okay, it's not just one way to music, because sometimes people think it's just, but there's a whole world out there. So you don't have to limit yourself to one thing.
You again, going back to what you said about being in Jamaica, you spend a lot of time abroad. What's happening there? What do you think the folks?
I mean, as far as dub and instrumental music, the people still, youths, I've traveled to ice all over the world, from Europe, South America, Asia, and in the crowd you will see big people, but you see youths, teenagers, all demographics. It is more older people, technically, but you do see them having them youth involved too.
Were you asked, and I suspect I'm asking you now, to explain the music of today, Jamaican music, about your response would be what?
Explain it?
Yeah. Which, in context.
Yeah, well, I just think, as I said earlier, music always evolving. Time, life, some of the things that we used to do 50 years ago down to 20 years, 10 ago, every time things progress. So musically, I just think the youths are doing what they know or what they've learned, so you can't really, it's like a development. So before them, we'd had some other things happening, and they were listening to that, and there's a lot of rap music and trap and excuse me, all these different genres, so they're being influenced.
Tell me a little bit about Addis Pablo. Are you anything like your dad?
Well, I mean, people say that all the time. I wouldn't just say that about myself, but of course, I grew up with him, I follow his footsteps musically, so I definitely look up to him a lot, just as far as what he achieved. And your music is anything like your father's? Oh yeah, it's very similar. It's a modern interpretation, of course, but
Explain that. Explain a modern interpretation.
So, obviously, in his days, this was when the music was being created. So that was the fundamental building blocks. But nowadays, we've had a chance to listen to all that, as well as other genres of music, for example. So we're able to maybe incorporate different elements. So I might keep the melody or the traditional rhythm skank and maybe add some other elements.
And you certainly wouldn't be the first son of a great musician that has taken this lane.
True.
But not all sons stick with what the father did. Some move totally away from what the father did because of what's going on now. You're a young artist.
Yes.
So why did you want to stay with the dub and the instrumental as opposed to I was going to say give the people what they're accustomed to hear, but I don't want to say that.
No, and in that same sense, as I said, people sometimes are just used to what they are. So people did move away from dub, but I say it wasn't the most popular in Jamaica ever. It was never like the most popular genre. So it's not really like it went to a heyday and then we're coming back to try. It never really got that full highlight, even though across the world it's been loved from the 70s. So what we just want to do is, I just want to do is continue. So it doesn't really matter if 10 people like it, 100 people.
Again, what about your music? Where we can hear it? And you have some albums out there.
Yeah, just released a new album, Melodies from the House of Levi. That's my sophomore album. You can find it on all the major streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes.
Instrumental, right, Cross?
No, instrumentals and vocals. Also feature people like Earl 16, Muta Baruka, Exile the Brave, Var from Pentatosh, and Kenny Smith, young artist from St. Louis.
And you've worked with a number of artists over the years. Somebody top of people them too.
Major Laser them, you know, Chronix, Protege, them, Janine, Earl Chino Smith, Inner Circle, Sly and Robbie. That's,
big thing.
A lot of people, yeah, man.
Big thing.
Can't remember everybody right now.
Yeah, big thing. So when where can we get the album?
Yeah, it's available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. I also have a few new videos on the way. One of them is called Black Liberation Day, which is available now, Narrow Road, and a few more on the way too.
Yeah, and how do you think your father would feel if him see what I deal with now?
I say I feel proud, you know. It wasn't expected because, as I always tell people, it's not like he sat me down and was like, I want you to do this, I want you to play melodic, I want you to, so it wasn't forced in any way, so I think it would be happy, you know.
Are you going to do a little song before you leave us?
Definitely have to.
Yeah, man.
Have to do that.
All right, so we'll stick around for that. I have a reggae musician, I said instrumentalist, him sing, but when him say, yeah, but, you know.
Sing with the instrument, you know, but the instrument sing.
Addis Pablo. After the break, we'll be taking a look at some projected trends, apparently, in men's fashion. But him just ask me, you know, we don't have a time. Just ask me about men's fashion and me telling about it, but we soon come. Stay with us, please.